looks like it's working now. So let's see. Okay. Let's just stick to one platform maybe. Okay, now I think I'm actually live on Facebook and YouTube, which earlier piece of string there. I'm almost getting done with this. This is going a lot faster than I anticipated, which is a good thing. That's what happens with an e-spinner, I guess, that it's less effort on your feet and you just keep spinning along. Hey Andrea. Okay, I just wanted to check if Facebook was working. Earlier when I joined in, there were some technical issues happening. So thank you for sending a message so I know that this is working. But yeah, Beehives is one of my favorite yarns to make as well. I like them just as they are. They don't have to be knitted into something. I just love spinning them. Yeah, so these I'm adding it as a ply. They can be done in a single as well or in a core spun. I like doing them in core spins as well, but this one is a thick and thin that was spun, and we are applying it to make a beehive. And I'm spinning on the Magpie daedalus wheel, which is a big wheel, but it's great for doing these art yarns. Hey Dion. Okay, I'm trying to be live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time, so I'm gonna miss a whole bunch of messages. So we need to get you on the art yarn bandwagon, right? See, so much fun doing these. And look at the bobbin. Isn't that fun? I'll show the other people the bobbin as well. Okay, you can see the partial bobbin, because you either get to see my hands or you get to see the bobbin. You decide. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just such a fun yarn, like just sitting in a yarn bowl or a skein of it hanging. They're just so decorative. Like it's one of those yarns which can just be a finished thing. just as it is. What's the second ply? The second ply is a strong cotton thread that I'm using. I think it's cotton. I honestly don't know. It's a very strong thread I picked up at the thrift store. So it's light blue in color, and you do require a certain strength for ply thread. So, and I'm most likely going to be Dion, just to let you know, I might be shutting off the Instagram thing because my camera is giving me issues again on that. So I'm still live on YouTube. If I think you joined us on YouTube the other day. Well, thank you, Donna. Good morning, Evanita. The beehives are happening, and my bobbin is getting finally. Well, I'm almost done. I'm getting very close to being done. There's still some left, but it's going so much faster because I'm on an e-spinner. It's going very easy. I started last night and then I had to force myself to stop because I realized it was getting late. And I intuitively thought that for beehives I would like Irish tension, but I I tried it, but I felt there was just too much of yeah, I just felt there was too much of take up happening because I don't want it to take up while I'm making the beehive, and I was struggling holding the ply thread in my hand. So, but you can see, I'll show you the bobbin. It's a lot of fun. Hold on, I need to mute and check something on my phone. Okay, let me just check on my phone. Okay, so yeah, it's been going fun. Yeah, I thought that I would need more take up on with the Irish tension because to get the beehives through, that's why I switched. But because I don't want any take up when I am making the beehive, actually the Scotch tension worked better for me. So I have to remember to move my hook often enough. And Evanita, these are your colors. There is some blue in here, so it's not all green. Oh, it shifted over to green. That's why you kind of land up being more of a teal and green kind of person, because you still have that shift towards blue. Yes, Dion, you need to get spinning on some art yarn. Oh, sorry to hear about your shoulder surgery. But then you'll be a brand new person after that, right? Okay, need to move the hook. Do I have room there? I do have some room at the back. So, Evanita, Dion is on YouTube. That's why I'm talking to her on that. Dion, you should try making some art yarns. It's very therapeutic. It does require shoulder movements. I'll admit to that. Good. I'm glad that you can ply. See, I'm actually, when it comes to art yarns, yes, I ply them because I'm trying to create a particular yarn. When it comes to spinning singles, I'll spin the singles, and then it takes me forever to get in the mood of plying them because I keep resting my singles. Yeah, you can if you want, but I just wanted to let you know, Evanita, that I wasn't just talking to somebody who isn't there. The bobbin, even though I'm trying to fill it as evenly as Evanita would like me to, I cannot, because the beehives usually land up on one side of the bobbin versus the other. So, hey, Evanita is there. So, Evanita is on YouTube as well now. I've realized recently that the YouTube is more chatty than Facebook. I think Facebook does not send the notifications to people as much as they used to when you go live. You know, Facebook is up to its naughty things again, I think. But whatever. I cannot deal with your algorithms. Breakfast making. What are you having for breakfast? Because I'm going to be hungry after this. I need to know what to eat. Yeah, for YouTube, you kind of have to subscribe and then turn on the notifications. Whenever I go live, only then you will get a notification of YouTube. But with Facebook, it's like you have to be my friend, and then that's when you get my notification. But Facebook also follows weird algorithms and stuff, and sometimes they don't let people know that you're live, or they have a weird way of notifying, and you can turn off your Facebook notifications as well. So there's just so many ways of doing the same thing, I feel. But as long as you found me, we need to get Evanita on. Yeah, so if you just subscribe to a YouTube channel, it just, you know, let's then you can just look at your subscriptions and see what videos I've posted. But there is a bell icon on YouTube next to the subscribe, if you press that, that's when you will get notified whenever somebody goes live. So they're two different things. Just by subscribing, it's just that, you know, you will see me on your subscription channel, but you will not get a notification. At least I don't think. You have to actually press that bell icon to get notifications. So it's rice, shin black ramen, broken into small pieces, and then bacon in the pan, scrambled eggs. That sounds good. Mmm, that does sound delicious. I'm not much of a bacon person, but eggs I can have anytime. So this is the beginning part of my thick and thin, where I had made some very thin slabs. So you can see that they are itty bitty slabs. And then I thought that no, I need to make them bigger. Let's see how big of slabs can the Magpie handle. And of course, there hasn't been any issue at all. As you can see, I've been spinning on this throughout and I haven't had any hiccups so far. Like big slubs. A song comes to mind. Oh God, what's up with all the message? Oh, I just got Brian's message saying that he is, he sees that I'm live, but he's at work. He's probably enjoying his coffee in his new mug. So that's good. He got it yesterday itself. You know that song? Yeah, I didn't know how sensitive some of the people might be here who are watching, so I'm just like, if you know that song, you know that song. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, I'm also curious to know um, how much twist is there in this. Like, I know I should have tested before, but I kind of just wanted to get into the rhythm of making the beehives and seeing, you know, how it goes. And then once the whole skein is done, I'll see how much of ply twist is there, or whether I've added more than I would like. Then next time I'll go even slower or increase the take up further, or I might switch to Irish tension. I don't know. I tried the Irish tension before. I was having trouble with the beehives. With the regular plying, when I did the super coils and auto wrapped, the Irish tension was great for that. So okay, I also need to remember to drink some coffee. slab. There, there. Yeah, so this is in the beginning when I was trying the thick and thin, so you can see my slabs are a little uneven and a little bit on the tinier side, but it's fine, it all works. This could be the cast on roll. Oh yeah, definitely. I love making thick and thin out of bats. I'll give you a tip. If you hadn't already seen that in the last issue of Fibery Goodness, I have spun a thick and thin out of a bat. Do you subscribe to that, Dion? So the way I do, okay, now yeah, we are done. Now it's just a regular 2-ply. There we go, that was it. Done. Okay, so in that, did you see the article I had on making the art yarn? It has the one with beads and everything. But before I do that, I actually do spin a thick and thin, and I do the thick and thin out of a bat. So what I have found is, thick and thin really requires you to be able to draft your fiber very easily, and bats, depending on the kind of bat you have, if it's a smooth bat and everything lined up, it works easier. If it's a crazy bat, it can be a little bit harder. But what really helps, if you pre-draft it, or if you can, the best thing that works for me is if I pass it through a diz. A diz, like on my diz which I make, I have the biggest hole that I use through it. Let me see if I have one here. Yeah. So I would diz it through, I have 3 different holes out here. I would diz it through that one and then spin a thick and thin from that. I know it looks really tiny, but it can pack in a lot of fiber. And so once it's dizzed off of that, it's almost like a top. And so then spinning thick and thin from that, I find it to be so much more easier than spinning it from just the bat as it is. Means you can do it from the bat as it is too. I feel like my slubs are sometimes not very clean on the top and bottom of the slub. I like a nice taper to it, and the dizzing off that bat, I find it really helps. Or if not dizzing it off, just attenuating it and making sure that the fibers are lined up straight, that really helps. So try that. Maybe I will try doing that as well. So anyway, the bobbin is full, and as you can see, it's hard to make it very even, but I think it looks amazing still. That's my final end of thread. But yeah, do you notice the weight of your diz helps with dizzing? I feel the diz needs to be as light as possible for the most part. Mine are made out of clay, so they are not as probably as light as a piece of plastic, but I like the grip that I can get on these. So the way I hold the diz, I have more surface area, so it's more for me, it's more about the surface area. And the way I diz is, I don't like many people can just hold stuff in their hand, diz, and let go of their fiber. If it's the ceramic one, of course the weight of it would be pushing it down. I like to diz on a table, especially with bats, because I kind of need to hold the bat behind, and because if your bat is already off your drum card, right, there's nothing giving you that resistance. So I usually can put a bat, I'll sometimes even put a book over it or something, Not necessarily. No, I don't. And what I do is I'll strip lengthwise of the bat, and then once I pass it through this, I will be holding the bat and pulling, and then holding the bat and pulling, and the ceramic disc also keeps just going over the table. It's not hanging up anywhere, so I do it on the table level. So that's how I use the disc. And even if I was using another one, I would, but I kind of like the hold I can get on these, so that's why I designed them this way. And they are designed such that there is room for you for dizzing through the three different ones plus holding it. And even though they are close by, the fiber doesn't escape into another one. Once you're dizzing through one disc, like these could be even closer than this, the fiber doesn't sneak in through the other ones. And I want them big enough so that the fiber doesn't wrap around, because there's more chances of that happening than the disc coming. Yeah, so you do that, but you hold the disc. Yeah, so you can. So when I do it from the hackle, that's what I do. So when doing it from the hackle is holding all the fiber. So with that, then I can just use this, and then even when I let go of it, it doesn't fall off or anything. These are not very heavy. They I've they are not even the small dishes I make for the knitted dishes. It's less than half the thickness of those, so they're very thin. So, but of course they are ceramic. So if you drop them on a ceramic or tile or a concrete floor or something, yes, there is a chance it will break. They are, I'll tell you what the disadvantages of a ceramic dish are, but I haven't broken any because we have carpet all over. I've dropped it several times and it's been fine. So, but I'm a clay person, so it just happens so that I will I will try to use any of my pieces whenever I can. I have other discs as well. I do like the brass one from Masha Craft as well. Um, I have used that one as well. I like that. And then I had tried few other discs which I didn't like. They were heavier than my ceramic discs as well. And for most of the other discs I tried, I had more trouble with like fiber coming around the side or not being able to hold. For me, holding the disc was more of an issue. So with this, I found that I can get, you know, the curls on the side and stuff really help. So anyway, so what should I spin next? Any suggestions? Should I do more beehives? More thick and thin? I had dyed this crazy braid as well. This might be fun to spin. You're picking fiber for your bag. Cool. Surprise you. I'm very tempted to spin this one, and the colors are not coming true on the camera. It's not red. It's the sol is a very deep magenta color actually. It's just showing up as red, and this is very orange. This here is a fluorescent orange. It's just showing as like a light orange on camera. It's really bright compared to that. So I'm kind of tempted to spin this. Oh, you need to dye fibers. Yeah, for me, have when summertime hits here, I really get interested in dyeing fiber. because then it's like, oh, I can, it'll dry quickly, the sun is out and everything. So, and it's such quick color satisfaction. I get that instant gratification with color, with dyeing. So I have some colorways which I'm planning on dyeing. I'll probably do that maybe today or tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And you want me to spin that? How should I spin it though? Do I do another thick and thin? I want to do some kind of art yarn out of it. It's just Falkland. There's no silk or anything fancy in it. It's just 100% Falkland, which is what these beehives were. I find that to be a very good fiber for making beehives. The kind of beehives I like. And Pulworth silk also works very well, but it gets pricey, so I stick with this. Yeah, and plus when you dye yourself, it's just the colors that you want. It's like, if I showed you this colorway, most of the people would be like, that's just way too much, way too saturated. This is actually very calm colors for me. I usually don't go this light. That's very different for me. For me, it's more, this is my color. What other options there are? I could core spin. You can core spin a top as well. You don't have to core spin a bat. You can core spin a top. There is with thick and thin itself, you can do so many different things. Like there are halos which you can do, which are similar to beehives, but they're still different. Then there's a crepe yarn that I make. It's not a crepe really. I call it fishnet. I think I sold the one that I had. Yeah, I don't have it. I think it's on my Facebook page. It's on my background picture of my Facebook. Oh, I have my handy dandy mouse pad out here which has all my yarns on it. It's this one. So I like doing this one. This is also done out of thick and thin. Yeah, so that might be a good option. And what else? So this was the one that I did for Fibery Goodness magazine, which was in there. And then of course spiral thick and thin is always fun. Did I dye that one? Those are some nice colors on that. I think I dyed that one too. Jeez, I don't even remember. Yeah, those colors are probably more like this, but that has more magenta in it too. So, oh, you pulled out the book. Yeah, in that the focus on that is basically how to add these beads with yarn on it, but the beginning of it is about how do you spin the thick and thin, because all the beads and all are added in the ply. So there's that. And see, this is another spiral one which I really like. A simple spiral yarn has a lot of beauty as well. It doesn't have to be thick and thin. I mean, beehives all the time. What page? Goodness, let me get the magazine. There we are, page 68. Page 68, that's where we are. So yeah, see, this is where I'm dizzing it off. And I'm dizzing off two bats together because I wanted a spiral top there. This is such a great magazine. Hey Brian, you missed all the fun. Just finished all the beehives. Brian is at work and see what he's doing. He's watching Instagram and oh, you clocked out from work? Okay, good. Yeah, who wants to work anyway? But yeah, we were talking about um, if you want to spin beehives or thick and thin from a bat, I was suggesting dizzing it off like I show in the Fibery Goodness magazine. And but yeah, that's 4 ounces of beehives. The yesterday all the thick and thin that I had spun. You can see, and you can the YouTube video is still going to be there, so you can watch that later too. It's not gone. Yeah, those are all Evanita colors, right? So the next one we're thinking about is I had dyed this one, and I'm thinking of spinning this. The colors are not true. This is a very dark deep magenta, this is a fluorescent orange, this is a very bright yellow. So oh, that'll be a test run on Magpie. Yeah, it was my test run. My test run first was core spinning, and usually my test run is always a thick and thin and a beehive. But I was like, no, I wanted to do a core spin first, just to because a core spin is much easier to understand take up of your wheel, like which knob turned in which direction is increasing take up, because your fiber is not getting it's not you're not drafting fiber and all too much. Like the core is always there, so it kind of gives you the idea of how much take up you're getting. So that's what I started with first, and then I also tried the Irish tension when I was applying that, and then with this I actually did all of it on Scotch tension, the thick and thin, as well as the beehives. So these are your colors, and we were deciding which yarn to do. I was thinking of doing the fishnet yarn, this guy or a regular spiral, one of the two. I think this with black fishnet would look really nice. Maybe that should be the next one. More thick and thin. Oh, oh, I said coils. Yes, I mean beehives. And then there are beehives, there are halos. There's so much that can be done with thick and thin, and I'm kind of getting tempted to do halos as well. uh, do I have a sample of halos or crescents? I do have a sample of it. So these are crescents. So I really like them as well. And these, popping out in these different colors, I think will be really fun. It'll be just like a big clown thing. You're trying to figure out where. Yeah, it took me a few days after getting the Magpie as to where to put the Magpie, and then it was like, okay, if I want to go live with it, where do I put it? Where do I put the camera? How do I get in view? I cannot get in view. Like the Magpie requires the full camera view. That's it. And means where I have my mugs appearing out there, I could have myself in view, but I have to sit on the side of my computer, and the camera of my computer is facing in front. So basically that's not going to work unless I turn that camera around, but then I have to set it up every time, which is a pain. And I've realized that if it's going to take me a lot of time to set up to go live, I never go live. So if it's easy, quick, simple, I just click a button and cameras are set up and everything, I can just do it. That's easy. So I have this camera of mine is mobile. It's on a tripod, so I can move it wherever I want. But the other camera is kind of fixed, and I don't want to fuss with it every time. So anyway, I'm taking a break now because I have been spinning for a while, and uh, unless I should start my thick and thin now. Do I do my thick and thin? My bobbin is ready. Let me remember. I have to always remember how to remove the bobbin. Uh, I think you remove all the dry bands first. Isn't that right? So let's remove that. Plus you can see I don't have too much room on this table. My table is 15 inches deep. So there we go. So with the space I have here, it's out. So a close-up. I think this deserves a close-up. See, it can be decorative just on a bobbin. You don't even have to scheme this up. Yeah, it's the whole setup of everything which can kind of be very hard. How to do videos and set things up. Okay, I'm going with the next bobbin. Was quick. That is probably the most graceful way I have removed the bobbin so far. Maybe because I'm on camera, I'm very much aware. This is something I always try to figure out what's the best way to do it. Is it better to put it on the no, I think it's better to put it on the motor first because there isn't much room there, right? There we go. So back in first. Yeah, I did that. I'm trying to think as to when I'm putting the motor band on, whether I do the bottom one first or the top one first. It's like it works either way, but I'm still trying to figure out what's the most intuitive way for that to be. And the orifice threaders are nice and big. So we have that. Make sure my wheel is spinning in the right direction. And I guess we are splitting this. Actually, wait a second. I think I'm going to change my mind. You're using the orange of my Magpie in your bat. See, Brian is getting orange on his Magpie. Now you're spinning with the orange bat. Top first in the groove where the yarn goes through the flower. Okay, yeah, out here. Remove the bands. Yeah, I removed the bands and all. It's just let me see if I've connected this right. Oh. Yeah, that looks good. I feel like I want to change my mind. I don't want to do thick and thin. I need to think as to what to do because I just did a thick and thin. I need to give this more thought. Means with thick and thin I can do more stuff, but I don't know if I even want these colors on it. They will look pretty cool. So we will see. Magpie, Brian. The fishnet is probably, yeah, what I'll do. So I'll do a thick and thin. It's just that yesterday I was spinning a thick and thin. I'm like, then today is the same day as yesterday. What's fun in that? Okay, I thought I would spin now, but I need to think more. So of course my leaders are orange. I always match my leaders to the wheel. Actually, my on my sparrow they are a gold thread because the sparrow is gold. This is orange, so even the leader is orange. And I like to have really long leaders. It's a very long leader. Easier to put them on top first. Yeah, that's what I realized because when you put it at the bottom, it kind of gets stuck out here, and then it's hard to pull it out from here to put it on top. And I think it's easier to put it on top. You're right. So anyway, I need to figure out what to spin next. Why long leaders? So especially when I'm making art yarns, what happens is that my bobbin is a certain distance away from me, for one thing, and I like to preload my leader with the twist in it, so that the very last bit of my yarn that is being spun holds that twist while I'm plying it. If my leader is too short, then I don't reach my bobbin all the way. It just makes sense to me, and plus a long leader gives me enough time to figure out whether my take up is the way I want it. I can keep pulling out the leader and testing it again, see if I want more take up. Of course, once the fiber goes on, things change, but it kind of gives me a general idea in the beginning itself, with which I can, like right now, if I want to spin for thick and thin, I can kind of see, okay, how much take up is happening, whether I'm getting the kind of twist I want. It's going too slow, so I can increase the speed. Yeah, I would probably spin it at that speed. And I'm liking the take up right now, and I'm kind of pretending that I am spinning my thick and thin, and it feels good to me. So it that's how much of leader I have on it. And while I was plying, it's like I can ply till the end of the fiber. I want loose twist. If your leader is too short and it doesn't reach your point of plying, then that last half a yard or whatever of fiber, I know I'm being stingy on that half yard of fiber, but it is, with art yarn, I find it more necessary with art yarns than anything else. It's because you're anyway not getting much yardage. They are thick, they are bulky. I'm doing all these kinds of things with adding so much twist in it in a certain direction and all of that. Sometimes I get 5 or 6 yards out of a very complex art, something like this. This is not a lot of yardage, but it all depends so much on the twist that is there in the single that I've spun. So I don't want to lose like a yard of it just because my leader was too short and I lost my twist on the single. That's why I preload the leader with a lot of twist, so that even towards the end of my fiber, to the very last bit of it, I have that twist. And what's the big deal? I hate it when there is a short leader. I've seen it where you have pulled out your entire leader and it is making it only up to like 5 inches or 3 inches in front of the wheel, and I'm like, I have this much of room to start spinning. No, I have removed all leaders. And Evanita, if you're still watching, the Majacraft Aura bobbins that I'm borrowing from you, I have removed your leaders from them because I find them too short. I'm sorry, I haven't saved them. Actually, what happened was the first two of them still have your leaders because I didn't use them. The other one, I was like, no, this is too short of a leader thread. So it does have an orange orange leader on it though. But yeah, I like to keep really long leaders. And okay, another thing about leaders, I'll let you know. I don't like to keep a loop at the end. I keep the ends open, which is also something that many people, are. Everyone wants a loop at the end. I don't, and I never have to cut my leaders either. When I'm joining for ply, I do what Sarah Anderson has taught in one of her video series. I don't know which one it is, but you do a square knot at the end and you ply, and then you can just remove it, and you don't have to cut your leader or anything. It just slips out. And even when you're spinning your single, you just untwist your fiber, and your fiber. So this is on what I had spun my thick and thin. You see, there's no bit of fiber on it. You just untwist it, and the fiber comes loose. So it comes off cleanly every time. You're not sitting there cutting your leader till you have only 3 inches of leader left. So I just like to keep a long leader, and I've rarely even cut it short because there's fiber stuck in it. The leaders are always clean at the end, and that's the way I like it. Anyway, okay, I need to think what to spin. Yes, and I'm getting some phone messages which I need to do that. You're not. Oh, I'm glad you also don't close. It means it's a personal choice. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I can see the point. Many people like the closed leader and then they loop their fiber in. But then when you're towards the end of the spinning, you always have that fiber fluff stuck at the end. And no matter how well you try to clean it, there's always a mess. You just yank hard. Yeah, I used to do that too. I just find it so much easier to, once you get in the habit of doing something, like if you even had an open end, I'm sure you will just try yanking it and you'll realize that it actually you don't have to yank, it just separates out easily. So I like to have an open end leader for that. And then it's that whole thing, right? If you're doing art yarns and your have certain amount of yardage only, and then towards the end you're cutting out 3-4 inches of your yarn just because you need to separate it from the leader. It's annoying. It's like, why? just just spin it to the very end. I don't like wasting fiber like that. I'm talking about 2-3 inches of yarn. Okay, before I I reveal all my craziness and the way I save on every inch of my yarn, I should stop. And hopefully I'll make up my mind what to spin tomorrow, and you can join me tomorrow again if I've made up my mind. But I'm sign up for now. Thank you all for joining in, and we'll see. And Dion, I'm still waiting for your for the picture of your string quilt. See, my sewing machine is. Let's see if I can show the mess in my room. There's my sewing machine sitting right there, and my shoes are orange too, in case you were wondering. All right, bye everyone. Yeah, I'm glad you could join in. Bye.